I think that's it for sponsors, yeah? Yeah, cool. So we'll go around the room and do a couple of introductions just so we can all kind of know who we are, and then we can get started. So I guess I'll start. My name's Leah Anderson. I am one of the co-founders of 1 Million Cups Madison, and I work at Nordic.
I'm Drew Corson. I'm also an organizer at Million Cups and an attorney at Knighter & Boucher.
Lisa Krugner-Higby, Comfort Care for Animals, LLC.
Spencer Prickey, a UW student here.
I'm Tom Willis. I'm a technology consulting doing intellectual property recruiting and agile management.
Shobhan Thakur with HealthX Ventures and also an organizer.
Mark Bakken at HealthX Ventures.
Alex Ryan, I work for Sun Power and Solar.
Hi, I'm Melissa Kaisers from Creative Business Interiors.
Tina LaHaze, Executive Director for Healthy Community Kitchen, new nonprofit.
My name's AJ Sue, and I am a small business coach. That's coaching guy.
Great, thanks everyone. Oh, Derek, do you want to say hi? Oh, and Dan, do you want to introduce yourself, Dan, as you walk in? We'll put you on the spot.
I'm Dan Anderson from Baker Tilly.
All right, we're good. Hi.
Okay, great. I'm Kat Ramirez. And I want to thank you for allowing me to start. I am adBidtise, the new way to buy advertising. So before I get into my story, my spiel, the platform and what I have to present to you guys, let me tell you why I created adBidtise and the premise of it. So I have 25 years of broadcast television sales experience, primarily as a sales manager. I've been in 5 different markets. I've worked for #1 TV stations and bottom of the barrels, okay? At the end of the day, what I heard and saw over and over and over was the #1 reason small businesses did not advertise was because they could not afford it, so affordability. Okay, the other thing that I saw and witnessed, and I'm not here to say it's good or bad, but I'll take you through the process and why advertising is perceived as expensive, is when an advertising sales rep meets with a small to mid-sized business owner, okay, whether I call them or they called me, we sit down and we talk about what their business is, who they're targeting, who they're trying to reach, and their budget, okay? Then we come back with some research and some information about this is your ideal customer. And then finally we offer the recommendation. So by the time we get to the recommendation, so there's a lot of things to keep in mind here of what's going on. So at the recommendation point, I, as a representative of whatever media I represent, am thinking, okay, I have a budget, I have a goal to reach, my boss is down my back, and I need to fulfill this initiative that's going on, okay? So all of this is going on, not what the small to mid-sized business needs are, okay? So thus, I created adBidtise. So hopefully you'll understand and connect the dots when I go through the different elements of adBidtise. So again, adBidtise is a virtual advertising marketplace. So basically what I'm doing is I'm creating a marketplace with affordable advertising options. Okay, so my theory, my thought is I will revolutionize the advertising arena because there's nothing of this kind that is created right now. You will see vertical things like this, but you won't see anything that's horizontal. Okay, so my platform is totally horizontal. So what does adBidtise bring to the table? Okay, so I provide small to mid-sized businesses empowerment. Okay, I'm a resource. I like to think that I am the Robin Hood of advertising. I will do the dirty work. I will go find and dig and find all the different types of media that's available out there. Media that you guys would not even have considered or thought to be different forms of advertising, okay, that are available to different small to mid-sized business owners. Okay, so the current problem, and I kind of alluded to it when I first talked to you guys about my platform. So for the buyer, it's very confusing, it's stressful, it's the last thing they want to do, okay? Media sales reps today are like the used car sales reps, perceived as. They're very barracuda-ish. If they meet with you, they're going to come back and be very persistent, okay? Even if it's not a great fit for you. Also, okay, so as a small to mid-sized business owner, you have to believe everything they say, because there's nowhere else for you to go to find out that that is not correct, or is there another option. Because, and I'll give you a scenario, if you're looking at, let's hypothetically say it's television, and you're meeting with me or a television rep, and then you're like, wow, okay, this sounds a little pricey or too much or out of my, and then you call another television station, and then they find out your budget. Well, guess what? They're going to go to the same format that I told you about. So they're going to also be pushing, tell you that theirs is the best platform for you. So it's a never-ending cycle, okay? That's why adBidtise was created. And so at the end of the day, for the buyer, it really is based on the media company's need, not the small to mid-sized business owner. So as far as the seller for media companies, now remember, I was a sales manager for 25 years, so I know all these problems that evolve from it. It is hard to find good salespeople. Okay, so when I say good salesperson, someone who will consult and really take a client through the process and really learn about their business. Again, salespeople are perceived as high pressure, kind of used car salespeople-ish. And then salespeople today, and I don't know if any of you guys have met with any, but salespeople today are pretty fat and happy. So if you are a small business and you don't have a big office or fancy cars or anything like that, you know, this media sales rep is going to be less likely to call on you or to try to consult with you. And that's the unfortunate thing about media people, because again, at the end of the day, they're paid on how much money you spend. And so if they perceive that you're not going to spend, you know, a certain amount, their own threshold, they're not going to, you know, I don't even want to say the word, but they're not going to take up their time to meet with you. Okay, so a lot of that happens. And then as far as a manager, the thing that I see over and over, and most commonly now, recently, I would say the last 5 years, since television went from analog to digital, what happened was television now has multiple stations that they can sell, and I'm sure that you guys see that. And so the decline of cable, because now free TV is readily available. There's a lot of options, but you know, not only free TV, you've got Netflix, Hulu, everybody else who's sharing that piece of pie of the let's say that television platform. Okay, so there's a lot to sell. The station that I last represented, the CBS affiliate in Milwaukee, we had 7 TV stations that we sold. Okay, as a manager, my job was to evaluate and assess how much inventory was not used and how much money did we lose. Okay, that was a lot. With 7 TV stations, the primary station, our flagship CBS, of course, was always at a full capacity, if not 75%, you know, close to full capacity. But the other 6 TV stations were never at even half capacity. So there's a lot of inventory. So there's a lot of opportunity to package that and put it on a platform as adBidtise to be able to offer small to mid-sized businesses. Okay. So here are some facts that I dug up just to validate the platform and my existence. So there are 28 million small businesses in the U.S. There are 543,000 every month. Okay, if you do crunch the numbers, here's the reality of those two numbers. 50% of small businesses will fail in the first year. 95% will fail in the first 5 years. Okay, and those are very hard numbers to digest. Small businesses do generate 50% of the U.S. economy, so they have to stand out. They have to fight for their piece of the pie. Over 54% of small businesses don't advertise at all. don't do anything, and 70% don't even have a website. Okay, and so in talking to businesses every day in my 25 years of advertising, the question we ask consumers over and over, and there's a lot of research on it, is, hey, if a business advertised, would you remember them? 70% said yes, I will recall them. I will, if they did something, I will know their name. Okay, so the solution to this whole problem, and again, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create awareness, advocacy, and trying to help small to mid-sized businesses survive, be successful, and grow, okay? So that they can have a leg to stand on with the Home Depots, the Walmarts, and what have you, these big box shops. So again, adBidtise is about options and about empowerment. So it's just like when you go buy a car, and I know all of you guys can relate to this. When you buy a car, you have lots of resources. You can go to Auto Trader, you can go to Blue Book, you can go to cars.com, you can go to CarMax, whatever. There's a lot of resources. I mean, there's so many resources that you'll know exactly what car you want, all the accessories, even the taxes, exactly what the sticker price is going to be, right? So you have negotiating power. You can go into the dealership and you can ask for that car with that price tag. In advertising, there's nothing like that. There's no such environment. If you go to one TV station, you're going to get one price. If you go to another radio station, you're going to get another price. If you go here, the price is going to be based on, okay, what are my needs as a corporation? Because I've got to fulfill that. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what are some of the benefits? It's easy to use. It's a virtual advertising marketplace. Okay, it's affordable. There's no obligation to buy anything. There's free consultation. If anybody wants to talk to anybody, whether it's on the phone, on the website, in person, it's free. And again, it's to be used as a total resource. If you just wanted to go in, create an account, and just do comparison shopping, there's nothing that will ever say or tell you you can't be on the site unless you spend a penny. There's no pesky salesperson hounding you. Nobody ever knows you peruse the different advertising elements that are on there. And then there are mechanics on the back end. So the website was created like a matchmaking site. So when you set up a business profile, you have matchmaking components on the back end that match you with the advertising options that are available. So the whole platform was created that if you didn't want to talk to anybody, you didn't have to. You create your profile, it will match you with the different advertising options that are available. So just like a dating website, okay? And it's based on your needs. So it's always going to be based on your needs. Okay, so traditional landscape. This is the competitive landscape today for small to mid-sized businesses. So today, small to mid-sized businesses assume that traditional media is the only way to advertise. So when I say traditional media, what do you see? TV, radio, and print. That is it. And so again, they are perceived to be expensive, okay? Because that's mass media. So what does adBidtise bring to the table? adBidtise brings everything. So when I say everything, I say sports marketing, community sponsorships, B2B programs, print, radio, social media programs, internet, creative products, trade shows, what have you. Everything that's out there, okay? So that's what me and my team do. We go and search and we find all these vehicles that are available to any business, and we put that on the website so that small and mid-sized businesses know exactly what's available to them. How does that benefit a small to mid-sized business? Let me use a great example, okay? So when I worked in Madison, Madison was one of the markets I worked at. I was at the bottom of the barrel, the lowest TV station in the marketplace, didn't have a lot of ratings. I met a client and they were a restaurant bar and they were on their last leg. They spent $160,000 on the #1 TV station in the market for 1 year. When I met with them, they were like, this is it, Kat. If this doesn't work, we are closing our shop. We're closing the doors. I hear that all the time. So they're no different than any other business that I've talked to. And so we came up with a plan, and it was a very strategic plan And they spent, I want to say, about $1,500 a month, and they did it for 6 months, okay? It worked, okay? It worked. They renewed, and they continued to do it. The business survived. They recovered, okay? But the example I'm trying to tell you is it wasn't about the dollars being spent. It was about being strategic and picking a platform or owning something and taking control of it, okay? So not buying into the whole gamut of you have to be on the #1 TV station or the #1 radio station. It's not about that. It's about being the best fit for your program, for your platform, for who you're trying to drive. That's what it's about. So that if you can identify who your target is and pick the platform that is the best fit for you, I'm telling you, you don't have to break the bank. You don't. You just have to be consistent, and you have to own it, and your business will grow. Okay? So my perception of the aftermath of adBidtise becoming a household name or a business name, okay? So my perception, and if anybody here is an agency, I apologize, but I see that the small one-man shop agencies, and these are typically people that were a media rep at some point and decided that they didn't want to be told what to do or what to bring in as a budget, and so they created their own agency. And so these one-man shops tend to sell what they used to be a part of. So if they were a radio rep, they're going to sell radio. If they were TV, they're going to sell TV. And so my perception is those people will eventually go away because it's not fair to that small to mid-sized business, because you're really not showing them all the advertising options that are available to you, okay? There won't be a need for rookie salespeople or weak salespeople. And so again, as a sales manager, I can see this platform taking over, being the virtual salesperson for the media company, because they don't need to pay someone a salary and bonus and all these expenses and what have you if they're not delivering, okay? And if the virtual marketplace is delivering the leads that the media company needs. And now media companies do need to be transparent and upfront, okay? Because again, it's in a forum, it's public. Anybody who's a member can see the pricing and see the dialogue and see what's available. So no longer will people, what I have on my website, and I do have slides that show what the website looks like and things like that, but there's a compare grid. There's also an opportunity to review, just like Yelp or anything else, review media companies, so that for a small to mid-sized business owner, that's important to them. It's important to know, hey, did somebody else have success with that program? And so with the compare grid, I have factors in place so that they can see and compare apples to apples, so that they know, am I getting a great deal or am I not? You know, what does this look like compared to other media? So that's pretty much adBidtise. So it's about empowerment and options and delivering an opportunity for small to mid-sized businesses to be able to negotiate and to be able to leverage themselves and have some fighting power. At the end of the day, you know, my platform, my business is to deliver and to create an environment where businesses do survive, they do have success, and they can grow. That's all I want to deliver at the end of the day, is I want to be able to help small to mid-sized businesses have a leg to stand on and have someone advocate for them. Okay. Is this where any questions? Or?
Thanks so much, Kat. We're going to open it up for questions. Here we go.
Thank you for your presentation. I like your passion. I like what you're thinking about. Here's my first question. Small business, define it, because that's a pretty broad term. Some people say $50 million is a small business.
Right.
Are you really talking micro?
No, I'm not, because if you look at what the SBA or all the research defines as small business, I mean, it could be up to 100 employees.
What's your spot for this service?
For this service, it's not even a definition of small and mid-sized business. It's a definition of businesses that never have advertised, okay, or businesses that have advertised and it failed. That's my sweet spot.
Okay. I have
Hey.
Stephen Deinhardt. Nice to meet you. So, this is on. Oh, okay, cool. Used to an amp. So I came in a little late. I guess I missed where you're generating revenue off this. Are you charging for listing?
Okay, no, I left it out because I was told that this was a smaller time, so the stuff I left in was the meat and potatoes. Okay, so
and I love it, by the way. I think it's a great idea.
So the revenue is generated off of 2 different platforms. Okay, so the revenue is generated by the media companies. That's the primary source of revenue. Okay, so when I say media companies, it's traditional for an ad agency to remove 15% of whatever media they give to that media company, okay? So an ad agency is anybody who represents a business to negotiate for them, okay? And so adBidtise would be an ad agency, a virtual one, representing small and mid-sized businesses. So we would immediately take off 15% of whatever's being purchased. So if it's $250, we take our 15%, okay? If it's $5,000, we take our 15%. It's an automatic thing in the marketplace. It's nothing new. Nobody knows, it's not like any surprise. That's just normal standard mode, okay? All I've done is put it into a virtual marketplace, okay? So the other revenue generators in here are, as a media company, they can stand out. They can buy ads. So this space is available, this space, this space, this space. So media companies can stand out and buy ads. Businesses who want to target B2B can also buy ads. They can buy blogs. They can buy the email listing. I have 15,000 businesses signed up for my email listing. I have over 355 media companies that I am talking to that are part of my email blast. And so those are opportunities to also generate revenue. There's also revenue generated on the business side as far as like the buyer. Okay, so if the buyer has an urgency, there are packages in place that if they needed something immediate and there's an urgency and there's a fire sale, then I make 50% revenue on those. Okay, and so it's a split. So that it's already agreed on from the media companies because those situations do happen. So thank you. That was a great question.
So my question is, okay, I sign up for my business. I want to advertise. So now, does this platform give me what it determines what kind of business I am and gives me it lists the best options first for me? So you talked about not spending it on the wrong thing. So is it going to tell me don't spend it on social media, spend it on bus ads instead?
No. So here's what happens when you create an account as a business. Again, it's like a dating website, okay? Right now, the filters are very small. They're minimum because it has to recommend something to you, okay? So when you go as a business, you're going to create your profile. You're going to say your name, your address, who you are, what's your business name, and then it's going to ask you 4 questions, okay? The 4 questions is what city are you wanting to advertise in, okay? What media platform do you prefer? If you don't know, and don't put all because you want to see everything, okay? And then it's going to ask you your budget, of course, because that's the #1 reason people don't advertise, okay? And then it'll ask you who is your audience? And based on those parameters, it filters and matches you.
And just gives me the options that I still as the business owner have.
To weigh them out. And again, this is where the compare grid comes up, okay? So let's say you look at the 3 and you want to compare them line by line like a car. Now the compare grid will fill in all the populated things so that you can make an intelligent decision, okay? As it gets bigger and it grows, it will have more questions to ask you as a date, like a dating site.
So I'm a little unclear still about the 2 market segments you're really after, the people who advertise and the people who don't. That's kind of everybody. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So they do advertise, they actually have a budget, and what you're trying to sell them is trustworthy, easy. But really you haven't created trust. What you've removed is distrust, right? I still don't know a reason why to believe it other than the fact that it's the internet. It must be true, okay?
Right.
The other part is, 70% of people, the business, don't have a website. You just told me that.
Right.
Those are the people that don't have a budget because they don't have an itch. Or they're too scared of it, one or the other, okay? No itch or fear, and there's no trust there. So I'm going to say, I'm scared of advertising. It's so complex. Why would they believe you?
Okay.
Other than the fact that you've removed distrust.
Okay. So here's what I believe the foundation and why I feel like people will trust and eventually use the platform. But it's a great question. So I have 25 years of media sales experience. Okay, I use my resume on my About Us. Okay, it is all about me. In my 25 years of experience, I have so much information, knowledge, that I could be deadly. I could be, but I use it for the good, and that's how I create the advocacy. Is I use it for the good, because I could be the same person, create this website, this environment, and I tell you, because I'll use an example after this, and not have any experience, and yes, I would distrust that person, okay? So here's what I always challenge people, and I always do it every day. So I meet with small and mid-sized businesses every day. And so when they're telling me they're looking at some sort of media, or not, whatever, okay? But when they are, and they're saying someone's telling them to spend this much money, okay? And I say, what's their resume? What tells them that they should be advising you? Okay, the feedback I got one time was, I don't know, Kat. Another time they said, I think she was an accountant. And I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to create that resource, and I use resourceful people in my resource, so I vet everyone in here, and I vet all the packages, everything. So I make sure that everything that's packaged and put in here goes through me first.
So again, I have no doubt that you can sell advertising. You can take that superpower and use it for good all day long. But this is a website.
Okay.
It's a tool, and if you're going to sell every day to every prospect, I have no doubt that you can be successful.
Right.
This is anonymous. It's the web.
I would say then I have the BBB. I'm a part of the BBB. That's ethical. That, you know.
People would say that.
It seems to me that, doing a lot of media buy lately myself, that just showing competitors, that want me to spend money on their, media buy around each other, competitively pricing, that alone will have me to trust this platform. So the way it exists now, you have to go out and discover it yourself. You got to go dig it up. You got to find the risk. You got to find, figure out the way to
You're a believer in advertising, though. You believe that advertising is right. You're a website. So,
I don't know. Are you? That's a good question. Are you planning on converting people to the temple?
Yes.
Or is this
No. Okay, so that's you addressed another good question. Okay, so first off, let me address what you're saying, the resounding over and over. I am using testimonials. Okay, so I do have testimonies. I'm a big believer in small to mid-sized businesses will not do anything unless someone else did it. Okay, I believe that, I know that. So in our next phase, now here's the other thing I don't know if you guys know. I started in 2014. I launched in 2015 in June. That was a primary launch. It wasn't even the website that you see today. This is the revenue generating website. I launched this a month ago. Okay, I have 5 clients now since I launched. Okay, so I know it's created a reaction. Okay, it's driving momentum now. And I'm creating awareness. I'm now telling people you should be aware. Okay.
So a lot of people they convert on the web organically.
One sold on the web organically. No, the others are hand holding. Yeah. But the testimonials is what's going to happen. I'm doing a lot of videos. I'm doing a tutorial video that walks you through the whole process. Okay. I'm also giving away free advertising evaluation. So I'm creating an electronic template that helps businesses understand that there's a need, okay? And they'll ask some questions and it'll give them feedback and say, this is my suggestion, okay? At the end of the day, do I want everybody? No, I don't. I meet with people every day. Today, I met with people in my 25 years of television. Did I want everybody that I met with in television when I met with them? No, I don't. They're going to be people I help and that understand what I'm trying to do, and they're going to be people that they don't want to be helped, and I'm okay with that. I'm certainly okay with that, because 28 million small businesses, okay, if I took a percentage of that, I'm still going to be a successful platform, and I'm still going to feel good at the end of the day that I help somebody. So I hope that answered your question.
The template conversion is exactly the question on that. I don't think you're actually going to convert much to your website You gave me one organic, that's really compelling.
Yeah.
But my guess is that you're going to have a great amount of traction with people that are frustrated, but they're already true believers in the local advertising marketplace opportunity. They just don't have trust or it's too complex. Okay?
Right.
So as long as you're targeting that piece and not the unadvertising private eye, I think you're going to actually get reasonable traction.
Right.
Even there, the trust will be the obstacle you'll have to overcome.
Right. But
like the advertising, advertising in general, right? I mean, what's the ROI in advertising?
Right.
Yeah. How they know to do the aspect, really educated, meaningful. Great TV. You talk very well, but I think if you do it, it's very clear. Piece of paper or digital, I don't know.
Right. Right. I'll keep that in mind, though, when we start doing those videos. Okay. Any other questions?
Yep. I just want to tease at something kind of similar. You talked about having online reviews done by probably mostly by buyers. And that's great. That is a way to build trust if you do it right. But how do people know to trust the reputation of the people who did the reviews? I mean, if you look at Yelp is just full of garbage reviews,
right?
Where people just you can't necessarily trust a Yelp review in the same way you could trust something on Stack Overflow in the technology world, where the reviewers have some reputation and they've got some skin in the game.
Yep.
So how do you build that part of the trust?
Okay, and that's a great question. So on our platform, the mechanics is reviews will never go up. They always go through me. So they have to be examined by someone, okay? And so before they even go up, we acknowledge and let the media company know so that we understand both sides of it. And so before that even places, the media company will have an opportunity to redeem themselves, okay? But I will tell you this, I was in media for 25 years. I'm now a buyer. And I have, like I said, 10 clients. They failed me already. It happens, And as a small business owner, you should want to know that. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to advocate and protect. Because if it does fail, guess what? I'm on your side. I'm going to go fight. And I'm going to try to help you redeem this.
Go into the website and you're asking what the components are to guide you to an answer. The perspective on that is, are you selling expertise or are you selling options? And I think that this question goes back to you as a person versus internet tool versus trust versus it's true because it's on the web. I think that small business needs expertise, which is actually based more on trust of interaction and not perfect information. So our new self does all day long
right.
perfect information. What I see here is the challenge is imperfect trust and maybe perfect information. And that's a really big hurdle.
Okay, yeah.
So for instance, will you have some kind of helpline? You as a small business owner, you go on the website, you put in your profile, you pay your money, you get your options, you kind of look at it, and you go,
yes.
Is there going to be a number that you can call, and there will be somebody on the other end of the line, and go,
right.
What do I do with this?
Right. I want to say thank you for your comments, okay, because I appreciate that. So yes, it doesn't show up here, but there is a chat line. So during the day, 8 to 5, there's a chat line. So I have people available to chat, to be available. There's an 800 number that's all throughout the website. There's an 800. There is a contact page, so at any time, and there's a hot click email throughout all the pages. So, and I suggest, and I say it over and over, and when you go on the website, if you guys do go, it'll bing and say, do you need help? It'll immediately bing you and say, do you need help? And then I'm in the process of putting a walkthrough that's automatic, that if you point to something, a bubble will come up and tell you what's going on. Okay, so I'm trying to be overly communicative, okay? Trying to over-communicate, but I get what you're saying, because it's a big deal, but I get what you're saying. Yes.
I think we have time for one more question.
Okay.
I have two.
One more person asking.
So do you do the analytics behind it? And actually, more importantly, first is, can you walk me through the process if I'm a small business? Because I still don't understand. I want to buy. I think that's a bus, right? So I want to buy that bus ad. What's the next thing? Is it seamless? Is it easy, or is it going to be someone's going to call me?
Okay.
And kind of that whole process.
No, that's a great question. Okay, so yes, we have analytics. Yes, and we look at them every day. So let me give you
So sorry, on the analytics side, it's me as a buyer wanting to see how many eyes that my advertisement hit.
You mean you as a seller?
Me as a buyer. As a buyer, I want to know and how many click-throughs occurred.
Got. Okay, so you as a buyer, okay, so here's the analytics. The analytics are going to be based on whatever media company that you guys buy, okay? And in the seller's setup, the questions are you going to show proof of performance? And what is that? So on every seller, there will be that. And when you do the compare grid, you'll see that. When you look at the package, you'll see that. You'll know. Did that answer that question?
Kind of, I guess. I think most buyers would want that to be an easy format, that they don't have to rely on a seller telling them that, hey, you're going to see that we served it to 10,000 people. They're going to want to see more than that. If I'm a buyer of advertising, I want to see, did those lead to conversions, especially when you talk to Facebook or YouTube or those types. And, you know, a lot of that is also on the line of clicking me through, because Google and Facebook and YouTube, they're all based on keyword searches, right? So it's a very different type of play than just clicking here to buy an ad spot. You have to kind of go through that. So that's why I'm trying to understand the process, and then what's the end results that you see back.
Okay.
Because that's where you see your ROI in theory.
Right. Okay, so at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you do, whether it's Google Analytics, Facebook, TV, radio, whatever. Okay? At the end of the day, if your campaign is successful, meaning it's driving traffic or awareness, okay? Because that's what all the campaigns do at the end of the day. You still have to sell your product. I can't be held responsible for you closing. Every media company will tell you that. Every media company. Because at the end of the day, I can drive the traffic, I can create the awareness, but if your business is not closing it, I can't do that. That is, now you're buying a totally different platform, okay? Because the reality is, you want to pick media companies that give you exposure, that give you awareness, okay, create traction. Your message is going to do that, catch them, okay? So whatever your message is, that's what catches them, okay? The media platform is just the vehicle. It's the driver. It is, what audience are you trying to get? What is it? What is the audience, okay? So you need a combination of things in order to tell you a tangible, what am I going to close, okay? But a lot of that is on your end. What's my closing rate? How much, you know, if you send me this many leads, I can close 50%, 25%. So a lot of that is on the business side, okay? Because the reality is, at the end of the day, you could have the best media platform, the best campaign, but if you don't have people that are closing, it's not going to do a thing. And that happens all the time. All the time. I mean, we have businesses that say, we're not advertising because we can't get people to close. We're not advertising. And they get all the calls, you know, they get 400 calls a day, but nothing's happening. So I hope that answered your question in regards to that. Okay, so in order to set up your profile, what you do is, basically what happens is, maybe I don't have that. Oh, I don't. Okay, so I'm going to take you this. When you set up your profile, when you ask all the questions, this is your page. This is your business page. So at any time you can change any of these parameters. This is the matching part. These are the suggested deals, okay? You click on the various deals and you see all the details, and I'll show you the page, okay? If you have another business, you can create another profile. These are your tabs. Those are all your tabs, okay? And so this is the whole shop deals, but so those are the things that you see in there. This is an actual package, so that's what it looks like, okay? So let's say this was one that was recommended to you. So this is their logo, this is their presentation information. They can have as many pictures and whatever as they want, okay? This is their dialogue. This goes very long because the reviews is down here, okay? And so you can share it, you can ask questions, and again, like I said, I have ask questions on everything. You can add it as a favorite, you can add it to your cart, you can find out more about the seller. You click on this and you find out more about the seller. And it takes you to the seller. So all the information, if you go further down, it will tell you all the other packages from this seller. Okay, so that you can compare. Maybe there's a cheaper one, or maybe there's something that's a lot more robust. This is a seller's profile. So this is an example of one of my sellers. Okay, and so this is their information. The thing I'm changing with the sellers is we're putting more information for them to plug in. Their audience, number of circulation, you know, things like that. So yes, and that's what I call it. I call it a business community. Yeah. And then this is what your cart would look like if you were to make a purchase. Okay. And again, it would show you still the other opportunities that you looked at. Okay. And then this is the resource, the blogs, the frequently asked questions, types of media, and terms and all that. So that's pretty much the website.
So if I make a purchase, what's the next step?
So once you hit the cart, it's just like eBay or anything else. So the process is set up just the same as anything else. You hit purchase, okay, then it takes you to, okay, make sure this is exactly what you want, okay, all your things again, put in your information, okay, it asks you for it again because this now is a separate page that's secure, okay, and then put your credit card information, okay, and then you hit purchase, okay. So once you hit purchase, another screen will pop up and then it'll ask you questions. It'll ask you, do you have creative? Yes or no? Okay. And then what do you want to accomplish from this campaign? Okay. And you put it in. Okay. And so then an email goes, once you hit submit, an email goes to the buyer and an email goes to the seller. It's the same email. The same exact email, and it has next steps on both sides. And the next steps were created to, again, hold accountability to the media company. Okay, it says you need to meet with the media company within 3 to 5 days. If you don't, call us. We'll help you. We'll figure that out for you. It talks about that in your meeting you should talk about expectations. What is it that you want from this campaign? You need to talk about what your campaign's about. Do you want this campaign to drive traffic immediately, or is this a branding campaign? So it talks exactly what the next steps are, and the media company and the buyer get the same thing. And that's what it takes.
The clients in this service, I assume, are going to be pretty long range. Meaning that once you convert them, they might be good for 3, 5, or 10 years, I assume.
Yes.
So it's going to be comfortable, right?
Yes.
And so in that phase, my recommendation to you is think about selling more expertise up front, literally.
Okay.
This gentleman's comment, like, so now they say, yes, what do we do? Like, that's a very small business perspective. That hold my hand.
Right. Right.
So you say, look, we have a service. You want us to be the independent media guide for you for all these people that are selling over here. We'll do that for you.
Yep.
You know, a couple grand, whatever it is. And by the way, when you buy this media, you can use half of it for every purchase over the next quarter, a month, or a year, whatever it is. And there's still going to be years beyond that.
Right.
And then you get to put your expertise out there and hold it in your business hands. So your long relationship.
Yes, I agree.
Time on the computer and put it into expertise. That's more close to face-to-face, voice-to-voice.
Okay. No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. Well, that was one of the livelier discussions we've had recently. Thank you so much, Kat and adBidtise.
Yep.
Thank you for all your questions.
No, thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you to 100 Stage for the coffee and Field 59 for the live stream. And special shout out to Leah Anderson, who's getting married this weekend. Keep coming back. See you next week.
I haven't seen somebody get grilled like that.